All right, ready to dive into some seriously unhealthy territory.
Let's do it.
Today we're looking at today's 10 most unhealthy foods to eat.
Sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah.
We're cutting clogged arteries, diabetes, even cancer risks. All from stuff we probably eat all the time.
It's crazy how these everyday foods can be so harmful.
I know, like who doesn't love a deep-fried Oreo or some cheesy fries every once in a while? But maybe not so much after this deep dive.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss sometimes, right?
Okay, so let's start with those fried desserts. I mean, they're basically sugar and fat bombs, right?
Pretty much. Deep frying anything just adds a whole other level of unhealthy. Think about it. It's like coating it in pure fat.
I can feel my arteries clogging just thinking about it.
And all that extra sugar. It's a recipe for disaster leading to all sorts of health problems down the road.
Okay, moving on before I swear off dessert forever. What about cheesy fries? That's got to be up there in terms of calorie count.
Oh yeah, cheesy fries are definitely a calorie bomb. Just a regular serving of fries alone is about 420 calories.
That's already a lot.
And then add on a good amount of cheese, say like 100 grams of cheddar.
Another 400 calories. That means one serving of cheesy fries is
A whopping 820 calories. It's like eating 2 meals in one.
Okay, I'm starting to regret that cheesy fry binge I had last week. But isn't it more than just the calories? What about all the fat and salt?
Exactly. All that salt puts a huge strain on your kidneys and can contribute to high blood pressure. Not to mention the unhealthy fats that can lead to heart problems.
Okay, cheesy fries are officially off the menu. So what's next on this list of dietary devils?
Well, how about some pork scratchings? Crispy, crunchy, and basically just deep-fried pig skin.
Honestly, I've always been a little afraid to try them. Is it true what they say about finding hairs in them sometimes?
Well, they do burn the hair off the skin before frying it, so yeah, it's possible.
Maybe I'll stick to potato chips. At least I know what I'm getting with those.
Good choice. Speaking of seemingly harmless snacks, number 4 on our list is canned soups.
Canned soup? Really? What's so bad about that?
Sodium. Canned soups are notoriously high in sodium, often way more than you should be having in a whole day.
So even if the label says healthy or low fat, I should still watch out for that sodium content.
Absolutely. It's really sneaky because it can add up throughout the day without you even realizing it.
So what's the alternative? Make my own soup from scratch.
That's always a good option. You can control the ingredients, add in lots of veggies, and keep the sodium levels in check. Plus, homemade soup just tastes better.
Good point. Okay, let's move on to a breakfast staple that I'm a little hesitant to hear about cereals. I mean, they always seem so healthy, especially the ones marketed towards kids.
That's the tricky part. The marketing is brilliant, but the reality is that many cereals, especially those aimed at kids, are loaded with sugar, artificial dyes, and all sorts of preservatives.
So they're basically candy disguised as breakfast food.
Pretty much. And there's research to back that up. Studies have shown that children's cereals are often way higher in sugar, calories, and sodium compared to adult cereals.
Wow, that's kind of scary. So how do we choose healthier options? Are all cereals bad?
No, not at all. There are plenty of great cereals out there. Just look for ones that are low in sugar, high in fiber, and made with whole grains. Read those labels carefully.
All right, good to know. Now, let's move on to a drink that probably needs no introduction when we're talking about unhealthy choices. Fizzy drinks. We all know they're basically liquid sugar, but how bad are they really?
Oh, they're bad. Like, seriously bad. Just one can of soda can contain up to 10 teaspoons of sugar.
10 teaspoons? That's insane.
It is. And all that sugar does a number on your body, increasing your risk of weight gain, tooth decay, heart disease, and a whole bunch of other problems.
And I bet a lot of people think they're making a healthier choice by going for diet soda.
Unfortunately, those artificial sweeteners can also be problematic. They can damage tooth enamel, and some studies have even linked them to other health issues.
So basically, all fizzy drinks are a no-go.
Well, moderation is key, but if you're trying to be health conscious, it's best to limit your intake as much as possible. There are so many other delicious and healthy drinks out there. Water, tea, even sparkling water with a squeeze of fruit.
All right, noted. Let's move on to a food group that's been getting a lot of bad press lately. Processed meats. We're talking hot dogs, sausages, bacon, deli meats, things that are super convenient, but maybe not so good for us.
Yeah, processed meats are definitely a concern. They're often loaded with chemical additives, nitrates to preserve them and make them look appealing, and way more fat and salt than you'd expect.
So what exactly makes them so processed?
Well, a lot of it comes down to the ingredients. Think about sausages, for example.
Okay.
They can be made with a mix of less desirable animal parts, leftover scraps, ground up skin, cartilage, basically whatever they can cram in there.
Ew, that's a little disturbing. So are you saying we should completely avoid processed meats?
It's definitely a good idea to limit them as much as possible. The link between processed meats and an increased risk of cancer, heart disease, and high blood pressure is pretty strong.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind next time I'm craving a bacon cheeseburger. So what are some healthier alternatives?
Plenty. You can swap processed meats for lean protein sources like chicken breast, turkey breast, fish, or even plant-based options. There are so many delicious and healthy substitutes out there.
All right, we've made it through 7 of the 10 unhealthiest foods. What's next?
Number 8 on our list is one that might surprise some people. Frozen meals. I know, they seem like a lifesaver when you're short on time, but they can actually be pretty detrimental to your health.
What's so bad about them? I mean, aren't there tons of healthy frozen meals these days?
The problem is that even those healthy frozen meals often contain a lot of hidden sodium, preservatives, and unhealthy fats. All that stuff is added to extend their shelf life and make them taste better.
So even if the label makes them sound good, I should still be cautious.
Definitely. It's always best to read the labels carefully and look for options that are lower in sodium and made with whole, unprocessed ingredients. But honestly, the best option is to
Cook at home.
Exactly. That way you have complete control over what goes into your food. You can use fresh ingredients.
Nasties.
I guess I can't argue with that. Homemade is always best.
And you know what? It doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. There are tons of simple, healthy recipes out there that can be whipped up in minutes.
All right, you've convinced me. I'm going to try to do more home cooking. So what else is on this list of unhealthy culprits?
Let's move on to something that many of us have a love-hate relationship with. Donuts. We all know they're not exactly health food, but how bad are they really?
I have a feeling I know the answer, but lay it on me.
Well, let's just say that donuts are basically a celebration of all things unhealthy. They're deep-fried, loaded with sugar, and packed with those artery-clogging trans and saturated fats.
Okay, so basically a one-way ticket to heart disease.
Not necessarily, but they definitely don't do your heart any favors. And remember, all that sugar doesn't just affect your weight, it also messes with your energy levels and mood.
Ugh, it's like a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
You eat the donut for a quick energy boost,
Yeah.
then crash and feel even worse than before.
Exactly. And then you reach for another donut to try and get that energy back up, and the cycle continues.
So what's the solution? Are donuts completely off limits?
Like with most things, moderation is key. Treat them as an occasional indulgence, not a regular part of your diet. And when you do have one, really savor it.
All right, I could live with that. So we've reached the final food on our list, and this one honestly surprised me. Chicken nuggets. I always thought they were a decent source of protein, especially for kids, but I guess not.
Ah, the chicken nugget. A classic example of looks can be deceiving.
So spill the tea. What's the truth about chicken nuggets?
Well, first of all, they often contain a lot less actual chicken meat than you might think.
Wait, seriously, what else is in there then?
Not the good stuff, unfortunately. You'll find a lot of ground-up skin, cartilage, bone, and a bunch of fillers and binders to hold it all together.
Ew, I did not need to know that. So not only are they not very protein-rich, they're also filled with questionable ingredients.
And then there's the deep frying. Most chicken nuggets are deep fried, which means they're loaded with unhealthy fats and calories.
So basically, a total health disaster.
Pretty much. But don't worry, you can still enjoy chicken nuggets. Just make them at home using lean chicken breast, whole grain breadcrumbs, and bake them instead of frying.
That's a great idea. I'm definitely going to try that. Well, there you have it. The 10 most unhealthy foods exposed. It's been a fascinating, albeit slightly terrifying journey through the dark side of our culinary world.
It's definitely eye-opening, but knowledge is power, right? Now that we know what to watch out for, we can make more informed choices about what we eat.
Exactly. We don't have to be at the mercy of these unhealthy culprits. We have the power to choose healthier options and prioritize our well-being.
And remember, it's not about deprivation or giving up all the foods you love. It's about finding a balance and making small, sustainable changes that can have a big impact on your overall health.
Well said. We'll be back after a quick break to continue our discussion about these unhealthy foods and explore some healthier alternatives. Stay tuned.
It's really all about awareness and making those little swaps that can really make a difference in the long run.
Like maybe skipping the cheesy fries next time and going for a side salad instead.
Exactly. Or choosing baked chicken over fried. Those small choices can really add up over time.
You know what? Out of all the stuff we talked about before the break, the one that really surprised me was a cereal. I always thought cereal was a healthy breakfast option, especially for kids.
Oh yeah, the cereal aisle can be a tricky place. There's a lot of sneaky marketing going on, making those sugary cereals seem like a nutritious way to start the day.
It's like they're trying to trick us into eating dessert for breakfast.
Pretty much. But as long as you read the labels carefully and look for options that are low in sugar, high in fiber, and made with whole grains, you can definitely find some healthy cereals out there.
Okay, good to know. So we've covered 8 of the most unhealthy foods, which means we've got 2 more dietary villains left to expose.
2 more to go.
And next up is, drum roll please, donuts.
Ah, the classic donut. Delicious, but definitely not doing our health any favors.
It's a tough one because they're so tempting, but then you remember all that sugar and fat, and it's enough to make you think twice.
Yeah, donuts are kind of a triple whammy when it comes to our health. First, you've got the deep frying, which loads them up with unhealthy fats. Then you add in all that sugar, which spikes your blood sugar levels and can contribute to weight gain. And to top it all off, many donuts are made with trans fats, which are known to increase bad cholesterol.
So basically, donuts are a recipe for heart trouble.
Well, let's just say that they're not exactly doing your heart any favors. And it's not just the long-term effects we need to worry about. Donuts can also wreak havoc on our energy levels and mood.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling. You get that initial sugar rush, but then you crash and feel even worse than before.
Exactly. It's like a roller coaster ride for your blood sugar levels.
So what's the solution? Are donuts completely off limits?
Well, like with most things in life, moderation is key. Instead of making donuts a regular part of your diet, treat them as an occasional indulgence. And when you do indulge, really savor every bite and enjoy it.
Great advice. All right, we've made it to the final food on our list of unhealthy suspects. And this one honestly surprised me. Chicken nuggets. I always thought chicken nuggets were a decent source of protein, especially for kids.
I know, they seem so harmless, right? But unfortunately, the chicken nugget often hides a dark secret beneath that crispy exterior.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's the truth about chicken nuggets?
Well, the truth is that they often contain a lot less actual chicken meat than you might think.
Wait, seriously? What else is in there?
Not the good stuff, I'm afraid. You'll often find a mixture of less desirable chicken parts, like ground-up skin, cartilage, and bone, along with a whole bunch of fillers, binders, and flavor enhancers.
Ew, that's not what I was picturing. So not only are they not very protein-packed, they're also filled with a bunch of questionable ingredients.
Right. And then there's the cooking method. Most chicken nuggets are deep fried, which means they're loaded with unhealthy fats and calories.
So basically, the chicken nugget's healthy image has been completely shattered.
Pretty much. But that doesn't mean you have to give them up entirely. You can always make your own chicken nuggets at home using lean chicken breast, whole grain breadcrumbs, and bake them instead of frying.
That's a great idea. I'm definitely going to try that. Well, there you have it. The 10 most unhealthy foods exposed.
We did it.
It's been a fascinating and slightly disturbing journey. But I think the most important takeaway here is that knowledge is power. Now that we're aware of the potential risks associated with these foods, we can make more informed choices and prioritize our health without feeling deprived.
Exactly. It's not about eliminating all these foods from our lives completely. It's about understanding the ingredients, being mindful of portion sizes, and making healthier swaps whenever possible.
So the next time you're reaching for that bag of cheesy fries or that box of sugary cereal, maybe take a moment to think about what we've discussed today.
Maybe opt for a smaller portion, pair it with a healthy side, or choose a different snack altogether.
Small changes can really make a big difference in the long run. And remember, there's a whole world of delicious and nutritious foods out there just waiting to be explored.
Don't be afraid to get creative in the kitchen. Try new recipes and discover new flavors that will nourish your body and delight your taste buds.
Well said. This deep dive has definitely given me a lot to think about. I hope it's inspired you to take a closer look at your own eating habits and make some positive changes. And remember, your health is an investment, not an expense.
And it's never too late to start making healthier choices. Every small step you take today can lead to a brighter and healthier future.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of unhealthy foods. We hope you've learned some valuable insights and feel inspired to make healthier choices. Until next time, happy and healthy eating, everyone. I feel like we've really cleaned out our mental pantries, tossed out all the junk food myths and restocked with good information.
Yeah, it's all about awareness, isn't it? Making informed choices.
Totally. Like, I swear, next time I see those fried Oreos at the store, I'm going to have flashbacks to clogged arteries and grab ample instead.
You know, it's interesting. Once you start cutting back on all that processed stuff, your taste buds actually change. Those whole foods start tasting even better.
It's like our bodies actually crave what's good for them. Okay, so before we wrap up, I wanted to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, home cooking.
Ah, yes. Cooking at home is really where it's at. You have complete control over what goes into your food. No hidden surprises, no crazy amounts of sodium or preservatives.
It ended up being super complicated, right? I mean, there are tons of easy, healthy recipes out there.
Exactly. You can find recipes online, in cookbooks, even get inspiration from friends and family. And the more you cook at home, the more confident you'll become. It's a skill that just keeps getting better with practice.
It's like a form of self-care, right? Nourishing your body with wholesome homemade food. Well, this deep dive has definitely been an eye-opener. I had to admit I was a little intimidated by the topic at first, but I feel so much more empowered now. Like, we don't have to be victims of these unhealthy foods.
I agree. It's all about making informed choices and taking control of our health. And remember, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Start with small changes, like swapping out one unhealthy snack for a healthier option each day.
Or trying out one new healthy recipe each week.
Exactly. Little by little, you can transform your eating habits and create a healthier lifestyle that you can sustain for the long haul.
Well said. I think that's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of unhealthy foods. We hope you learned something new and feel inspired to make some positive changes.
Remember, every small step you take towards a healthier lifestyle is a step in the right direction.
Until next time, happy and healthy eating, everyone.